Welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, episode number 185. And coming up on this one, Ilya Samsonov gave up 5 goals Friday night in net for the Leafs. This guy, he done. Not good. Not the best. The Leafs blew several leads that game, but can you really blame them when you're dealing with the BJs all night long? Anyway, Rod the Broad came in tonight, Saturday night, when we're recording this, with his Carolina Hurricanes to tangle with the Leafs, and they can't get it done. They lose 3-2. All this and more coming up on a much-anticipated, long-awaited episode of the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast.
Right in the brunt, baby. Our little buddy Michael Bunting makes his return to Toronto. Speaking of right in the brunt, well, he did some damage early, not going to lie on that one. But speaking of right in the brunt, Chad, we might hear from Eddie the Eagle Belfort tonight, giving his thoughts on the current goaltending situation with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh my God, we are talking full sweat hogs here. We're back, folks. Let's hit the intro.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round! Do you believe this? Holy mackerel!
Welcome, everybody, to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. While you're on YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment if you want to. You can follow us on Twitter or X. No one calls it X, so Twitter at Tip In Pod. And we're on TikTok at Tip In Podcast there. You can find us there. A couple middle-aged men on TikTok. Dale?
Soon to be back on all of those platforms. We took some time away here through the month of December. I'm not sure if anyone noticed, any regulars out there, but Chad and I have been away for quite some time here, several weeks. Thought we better get in and pop a little podcast cherry before the new year hits. Right, Chad? It's been too long.
That's right. It has been too long. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back.
Glad to be back. Yeah, look, guys, some things went down in our personal lives. Like, probably not going to get into it in great detail here, but there was some stuff going down with like not feeling well. And then there was some other, personal family stuff going on that needed attending to, which was like a higher priority for me than coming on here and doing this podcast. As much as I love the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast and talking Toronto Maple Leafs, sometimes it's got to take a back burner when stuff gets cooking, a little unexpectedly in your personal life, right?
Yeah, that's right. Everyone understands. It was just everything kind of snowballed. You had stuff going on, and then the holidays hit. I got sick, but now here we are. We're back. And I want to say to all the people who sent messages and left comments on YouTube and everything, like, we really appreciate it. We're so glad to have people that want to listen to the show, that look forward to listening to the show. One I wanted to give a shout out to, because we had so many of them, but I have his name here. Hunter McCowan sent us a nice message from...
What a name. What a great name.
That is a porn name if I've ever heard one. He sent us a message from Texas. Listens to the show, loves the show. Leaf fan living in Texas. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Hunter. Thanks for the nice messages. And everybody else who sent us messages on Facebook and YouTube and everything. We appreciate it. We love it. And we're back.
We are back now, but we're just giving you a little taste. We're just dipping our toes back in before New Year's, because guess what? The boys are going out to California. So on Tuesday night, late start. Wednesday night, late start. So you won't see us again until
next weekend.
Until Thursday. So we're dipping in here before New Year's, but we're not staying up till 1, 2 in the morning doing post games. We're just not doing it while they're out in California, but it's only 2 late games. And then for the rest of the month of January, It's all just regular time starts, like Eastern time starts. So
yeah.
We won't be covering the Kings game after the Kings game or the Ducks game after the Ducks game, but we will cover both of those games on Thursday night. So we will be back into the swing of things here, full-fledged, going into the month of December, and I am very much so looking forward to that. Hopefully all the listeners and viewers are looking forward to that as well. What I'm not looking forward to, Chad, is Ilya Samsonov getting another fucking start in net. Why in the world?
I don't know.
Okay, folks. Listen to this. It's been a while, okay? Like Joseph Wall's out. Like it's been a while for us here. So we might
missed a lot, but everyone knows what's going on.
Everyone knows. Everyone
go
knows.
that far back.
No. But like everyone knows Wall's out and how well he was playing specifically in that Ottawa game when he fucking blew his leg out or whatever it ended up being. High ankle. So not the best there, but man, this guy was cooking, playing his best hockey of his life. And to have him go out injury prone, I don't love that about Joseph Wall. Everything else I do love about him. But anyway, not going to do a bunch of Joseph Wall stuff here. Maybe a little bit more later, but got to start with Samsonov, right, man? Like he gives up a 5 spot again Friday night against the Blue Jackets. The Leafs blew 2. They were up 3-1 in that game. They just kept blowing leads all night. You said off the top, when you got BJs hovering all around you,
it's tough.
It's tough.
It's very tough.
It's tough. Like when you're thinking, if I go into this corner, I might get a BJ on me, or if I go behind the net, there might be a BJ on me. I mean, I can understand some of those things. Like,
yeah.
There's really not any position. There's really not any place on the rink or anywhere else on planet where if I got a BJ coming for me, I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to take it or.
It's hard to. It's hard to think of anything else when you know somewhere there's a BJ nearby.
Right around the corner, brother. Right around the corner.
Just waiting. But anyway, with Ilya Samsonov, I don't know if you caught this, but like
He's up a 5 spot again.
Chris Johnson had a stat. I don't have it in front of me, but he tweeted a stat about pretty much of all the goalies that you would consider starters who have played starter minutes this season. He is dead last with an .840 save percentage.
Dude, he named all 60 goalies in the league.
Oh, is that what it was? All 60, but you had to play a certain amount of games.
Hang on.
Right?
Out of the 60 goaltenders in the league that have played 10 or more games,
right?
Dead last for Sammy. Dead last. Like it's you not
can't
good,
start.
man.
You can't start this guy anymore.
Look,
I don't know why they're starting him at all.
Well, okay, I don't understand it either. Other than the fact that, like, who else are you gonna fucking play? Like, would you just go? Would you just play Jones just every night because you're not gonna win?
What about the kid in the Marlies? Like, why don't you anybody? He's dead last. He's dead last with the save percentage. Like, I play anybody. I would play. Yeah, you want to play Martin Jones back to back? Go ahead, play Martin Jones back to back. And then Elliot Friedman during the intermission in tonight's game against Carolina, he's like, "Well, the Leafs they've seen some good things at practice, so they want to keep giving him a shot." I'm like, "Is this?
Come on?
Is this the NHL? Is this the NHL?"
Look, it's been a while. What's that, sir? Oh, I'm just hearing right now. I think Eddie Belfour would like to chime in on this. An absolutely unexpected addition of the Eagles Nest. We're going to break a few things down here, a few unexpected things as well. Chad, you want to throw to that right out of the gates? We're going to the Eagles Nest.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Eagles Nest.
Eddie the Eagle, great name.
And watch Belfour's stick.
Wow. All right, Piggy. Come on out, Piggy.
And put it right up into his face there, and Belfour's not going to take that. Wham! Right there. He came up high. And here it comes. And the Eagles all over him.
I bet you if you pop those jeans off, you're going to find a sweaty hog.
How in the world did he make that save?
He's pulling stuff now.
Wow. All right, Piggy. Come on out, Piggy.
What better name than Eddie the Eagle?
So, like, are we doing a full Eagles Nest here, or just on the Ilya Samsonov?
Look. Here's what I'd like to do here.
Because there's only one pick for him.
Say it.
It's his sweaty hog.
Oh my God.
The sweatiest of hogs that I have ever seen.
Sweatier than Mrazek? Because that's sweaty.
Oh.
That's sweaty.
No, dude, sweatier than Mrazek. Sweatier than Mrazek.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
This is like running in 40-degree weather, wearing tight jeans for over 25 miles, and then hitting a sauna and then getting out. Do you know how sweaty that hog is?
That is about as sweaty as it comes, man.
Yeah, that's Ilya Samsonov.
I've got 3 guys I want to get to here. One is unexpected, but okay, Samsonov. Okay. Look, I don't see any possibility how you can get this guy back into the net again. I almost fell off the couch when Sheldon Keefe decided to play him in Columbus against the BJs of all teams. Sheldon, come on. What are you thinking? What are you doing? You know you're going to have BJs on the brain all night long, and the Leafs got off to a hot start, blowing leads. Like, they didn't give up a ton of shots, but he still let in 5 goals on like 20 shots. So is there defense to blame there? Is there coaching to blame there? Or is it just all on Sam?
I agree with you. Like, getting to Keefe put him in net. And then after the game, Keefe comes out and says, you know, you score 5 goals, you should win. We need to we need a save. You need a save. Well, but you put him in net. You knew what was going to happen. Every game he's played, he gives up 4 more goals.
As soon as I saw that he was getting the start, I'm like, no.
Yep.
No.
And
Columbus, last place in the Eastern Conference. Last place in the East. And just like
5 goals.
No. Another 5 spot. Like
6.
Yeah, 6. Like
6 goals.
Okay, I get like giving this guy maybe a chance to find it. I'm sorry, Chad. This guy Samsonov is nowhere near finding it, not even close. I feel bad for the guy personally. I do. Yes. But take the personal, and we're not shitting on him personally here as a dude. I like Sammy. I like his openness and all that. But let's be serious. His job is to stop pucks, and he is not doing that, and it is absolutely crushing us. It is crushing us, man. Like, I do not see any scenario here where, and I thought this last time he played and let in a 5 spot, I'm like, there's no way he's seeing another game. And then here we go again. Like, Tree Living doesn't make a move to bring up a dude from the Marlies, or a secondary move to maybe bring in another goaltender or claim somebody off waiver. There's a little hint of what's right around the corner. But you know what? Like, Tree Living, Keefe putting him back in there. Maybe Keefe doesn't have a choice, but would you not just kind of play Jones both games? Or you're risking too much there by potentially hurting, like Jones getting hurt?
Yeah, you could play Jones back to back, but I think the problem is that they didn't see this long ago. Like, you're way past the line of giving him another start or letting him work it out. Like, this was 2 or 3 starts ago that Tree Living should have made a move, send him to the Marlies, brought up a kid, did some sort of conditioning stint, something a while ago. And now you're kind of like, what are you going to do now?
The turkey was overcooked on Christmas. This guy was cooked long before that. It's all this guy. Like, I don't know if he ever finds it again. And he might, but there's
not today.
I'm seeing now very clearly why the Washington Capitals were like, yeah,
you can have
pass. I can see why they didn't qualify this guy. Like, I thought it was crazy originally when Washington was just like, to let a young goalie go that's like had such upside. But now I'm like, this guy can't stop a fucking puck. Like, he can't make a save when you need a save. And it is
when he's on, he is a really good goaltender.
When last time we saw that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. His mental game is weak as fuck, man.
Oh my God.
He just loses it.
That's half the battle, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot like Jack Campbell had that problem too. Like, the woe is me.
And look where
exactly.
He's right where Samsonov is headed.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They have sort of the same mindset. You got to be stronger than that. You got to be able to fight through it and bounce back. Samsonov can't do it. That's probably why Washington walked away. They saw that long ago.
He's done, right? Like, he's done.
I wouldn't say he's done, but he can't. You have to do something. You can't just keep throwing him in the net.
Oh,
like,
God,
maybe you give him a conditioning stint. Maybe he works his way back in, but you can't just throw this guy in the net and be like, hey, you know what? Next game, bud. Next, like, is this fucking novice hockey? Hey, next game you're gonna get him, bud.
It's the NHL, and you
can't
gotta
do
make
that.
you gotta make saves. Like it's crazy to me. The whole thing is crazy that they keep putting him out there when they know that he's in such a fucking mental state where his mental health is not there. This guy it's eating him alive. Like every time he's probably thinking
It's worse.
He's probably thinking, really, you want me to play again tonight? You know I don't have it. You know I'm gonna let in 5 goals. You want me to go again? Really?
Yeah.
Like he's not going out there thinking his confidence is in the tank so much. He's not going out there thinking like, oh, I'm only letting in a 2 spot tonight. No problem.
Every single shot, he's looking over his shoulder to see if it went in the net. He has no idea where the puck is. He has no idea where his net is. He's never in position. He's letting goals go through him, over him, under him. It's ridiculous.
It is
ridiculous. And Keefe said tonight when asked about Martin Jones' performance, he said that he kept them at 2. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, not the okay. So
and why did you start a guy you knew wouldn't keep anybody at 2?
Okay, like let's just be honest. Like I think Keefe deserves some blame here because, like, okay,
100%.
Like there's no reason why you can't start a goaltender in back-to-back games. And look, to me, the Columbus game on Friday was basically just like okay, you guys are going to have to score 7 or we're going to lose. And that's what happened. Like, that's exactly what happened. You guys are going to have to put up a 7 spot or you're going to lose. And the Leafs looked good early and then blow a lead. There you go. But, dude, look, if Jones played in Columbus, I believe the Leafs win that hockey game. Tonight, different story against Columbus. Do you think that's fair?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They scored 5 goals.
I doubt he gives
5 goals.
Right.
And I'm sure, like, okay, some of them watching the game, like everyone, all the broadcast guys, you notice they're being so kind to Samsonov.
Not Kipper, really.
No. I mean, the actual broadcast of the Columbus game. Like he made one good save that basically the guy shot the puck into his glove. And they're like, that's what he needed. Now he can build off that. I'm like, you can't build off one save when your mental toughness is gone. You can't build off that.
No, you can't. And again, this isn't a personal attack here, and we're going to move on to Jones in a second. And I will say this, like Robertson in the Columbus game, he did have a nice tip in right off his shaft. We can't even cover that because of the fucking shit show in net. We can't even, a beautiful tip in off the shaft, right off the shaft. Robertson's shaft was right up tucked against his groin, and he just popped it right home. Good to see for his 4th goal of the season. But guess what? In a losing cause, we can't go over tip-ins like that. As much as we would love to do it, it's just nearly impossible. When we got tip-ins flying, we got BJs flying, and we got a goalie letting in fucking every fucking thing right through him. But the way the goals are going in, just everything looked like, okay, we just basically spent 20 minutes on Samsonov. So, like, I don't want to shit on this guy any further other than to say, like, enough is enough. Make a move. Tree Living needs to do something here. Whether they're going out to California, there's no way, Chad, that they can bring this guy out with them to California, right? Whether it's waivers, whether it's a conditioning stint, something needs to happen here. He can't be on that fucking California trip.
No, he can't. He can't. And you know what's funny is I thought after Keefe's press conference after the Columbus game, I kind of felt like his comments, as much as they were slag at Samsonov and his performance, they were almost directed at Tree Living. Like almost like he's basically saying like well,
throw me a bone here.
Exactly,
bud.
throw me a fucking bone. He's like, well, it's hard to win games when you can't make a save. And you were saying like, and we're both saying Keefe deserves some blame for starting him. But what if it's not really his call? Like, what are the general managers like? You know, we gotta work with Sammy and we gotta get this fixed or whatever. That's your job. And Keefe's just like, well, fuck. Do you remember him in that All or Nothing series when he yelled at the goalie coach?
Freddie Anderson.
Yeah. He's like, he's trying out there. Well, can we get a fucking save?
Yeah. I'd love to see the behind the scenes shit here, like behind closed doors with the
goalie coach.
With the higher ups. Yeah. Like without the players being involved. But Anyway, man, we're still on the Eagles nest here. So it's a full sweat hog for Samsonov, without a doubt. So much that he needs to go down to the AHL. And I don't know if that's even gonna, like, I'm not sure if this go down there and play every night, I guess, with the Marlies and like just see
what if
happens.
He goes down and he starts giving up 4, 5, 6 goals a night in the AHL.
See, like, honestly, like, that wouldn't surprise me.
That's what happened to Campbell, and he's just gone.
All right, I got something for you right here.
All right.
Let's move. Let's just quickly, don't have to spend time on this. Jones, it's a stiff hawk, right? Like, Jones has been good. He hasn't been great. He definitely hasn't been a sweaty hog. Didn't love the first goal tonight, the bunting goal, right in the front.
Yeah, he has a weak 5 hole, but whatever.
Okay, but overall, Jones has kept them in games. He's made saves when they've needed to get saves. And for me, it's a stiff hawk on Martin Jones. You agree?
I agree. And I will give props to, because we shit on Brad Tree Living a lot, but I will give props on Brad Tree Living for signing Martin Jones and putting that little $100,000 day after thing where he kept him from getting picked up on waivers.
Could
because
you
if
imagine?
we didn't have Martin Jones
my
right
God.
now, the Leafs
they wouldn't be in a play, they wouldn't be a playoffs. They wouldn't be in a playoff spot.
No, the Leafs have, I don't know what it is. They have like 9 overtime losses, or I don't know what the record is or whatever. But they're basically a 500 team.
I don't know how I skimmed over this, but the Leafs have lost 5 of their last 6 games now.
Yeah,
they're on a bit of a skid. They have picked up points, mind you, but they have lost 5 of their last 6 games.
Yeah, they're 17. They're 17, 10, and 7. So that's 17 and 17. Like, I know you get the bonus point or whatever for losing, but you've lost 17 games and you've won 17 games. You are 500 without Martin Jones. My God, man.
No, if Samsonov would
they
have
could
been
be like
they
could be like 11 and 22 right now.
No, if Samsonov would have been playing every night since Wall went down, no, forget about it. Not in a playoff spot, not even close.
So very good plan C that they had in the box there. That's what she said.
Well, I got a plan D right here. I got a plan D.
Big plan D?
Big D. Big plan D. You know who just got put on waivers?
Why do you sigh?
Because I don't love this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But I feel like it has to be done. You know who just got put on waivers by the Detroit Red Wings?
Who?
Our boy. And I'm talking about Hutch. Michael Hutchinson back in the fold. Chad, let's be honest. Let's include him here. We just gave out a sweaty hog, a big-time sweaty hog. We just gave out a stiff hog. Let's be serious about Hutch here. Did we love Hutch when he played for the Leafs? No. But was Hutch doing what Sammy's doing right here? Was Hutch a full sweat hog? I don't think so. No. I would put Hutch in like a stiff hawk. He'll give you a save every now and then.
He was like a stiff hawk with a moist hog.
Not sweaty, but
a little.
There was lube there. It was getting wet. It
stunk a little bit.
Oh my God. Yes, it was.
Wouldn't that be funny if Hutch came back? Since we have done this podcast,
he's on waivers. He's ready to rock and roll.
He is constantly making an appearance in the Leaf net all the time.
Dude, like, we used to shit on him, and I would love him right now as the backup to Jones. I would have loved it if Hutch was in net playing against Columbus on Friday night rather than Samsonov. That's how far.
Would be hilarious.
That's how far we've come away from Samsonov. But anyway, I'm joking a little bit, but at the same time, not really, because we need someone that can make it stop. Is it Hildeby? Is he the fucking dude? Like, is it fair to him, this rookie from the Marlies, to bring or Petruzzelli? I do love Petruzzelli's mustache, not gonna lie. But is it fair to one of those kids to bring them up and be like, all right, well, guess what, guys? Like, Sammy can't play, so it's you now. And maybe that's what they need. Maybe something needs to happen. That's the end of it, is it not? Like, something, whether it's Hutch or Petruzzelli or Hildeby, but maybe it's our boy Hutch. Just wanted to give a shout out to
we don't know what it is
for a stiff hawk back in the day.
Yeah, stiff hog with a moist hog. But we don't know what it is. We don't know what it is that needs to happen, but we know one thing. You cannot put Ilya Samsonov back in the net.
No, you cannot.
Not until he is right. Anyway, there's a
never
good 25-minute segment.
Yeah, which may never be again, but like we don't know. Like the book's out on Sammy. Like, is he going to find it or is he not? But so to wrap up the goalie thing, and we'll move on to a couple other things before we get out of here. I would say this, like without a doubt in my mind, and we'll see. Maybe Samsonov finds it in the Marlies, but I'm not counting on that. How could you possibly think that that was going to happen? Look at the guy. Like, look at him. It's sorry. Yeah. I think the ship has sailed on Samsonov. I'm out on him. Whether you need
the ship sailed like 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh my God. I can't even believe he's still playing games. Like I could not believe that they were giving him the start on Friday against Columbus. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, without a doubt, regardless of Samsonov and what happens down there, like even if he maybe finds it for a couple games or whatever, Joseph Woll and Martin Jones, those are the two goalies in the playoffs, are they not? Like, hopefully,
if they don't bring anybody else in,
hopefully Woll comes back here and can like he'll be back by February probably. Hopefully, he can come back and like stay healthy. But
they were saying tonight on the broadcast that like Friedman said he's hearing they want to wait, like they don't want to do anything until Woll comes back. And I'm like, because then you can leave Martin Jones as your backup, and then you can do something with Samsonov. But
that kind of makes sense. Does it not?
Yeah, but Woll might not be back till February.
Okay, so that's only another month.
Another month. You've got to give Samsonov starts in that month.
So it's got to be Jones and Hutch. It's got to be Jones and Hutch.
What I'm saying is,
you got to get Hutch in here.
He said they don't want to do anything. They just want to leave it Samsonov and Jones until.
They're not making a deal for a goal. Tree Living didn't make a deal for a defenseman. You think he's making a deal for a fucking goalie right now?
But you can bring up the Marley goalie, anything. You could go now and
I think
get better.
I think that will happen. Like you will see one of Hildeby or Petruzzelli come up and play. Like it has to, but I what I'm saying is going into the playoffs, I don't want Samsonov anywhere around it. I just don't. I'm sorry. It's a combination of Woll and Jones for me, or out of nowhere, wearing the Superman's cape out of nowhere. His hips are fine, his knees are fine, his ankles are fine, and his mohawk is looking glorious. And I'm talking about stay off the radar until the playoffs, and here comes Murdoch, Matt Murray out of nowhere. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the savior to the whole fucking thing is Murray miraculously is just all good to go come the playoffs. Hasn't skated, hasn't nothing, but he just regains his like Stanley Cup form, and he comes in and he takes this team right to the promised land. Dude,
that would be insane. I mean, it's never gonna happen, but that would be insane.
This is where I'm so in the tank right now with the goaltending. I'm like, I want Hutch and Matt Murray. Like that's where I'm at with the goaltending right now. So take from that what you want, but that's where I'm at with the goaltending. Anyway,
I love how like the picture you painted of Matt Murray just made him sound like this fucking glorious He-Man that came out of the press box to save the day.
Wearing the Superman cape and to save the day. He
doesn't have a mohawk, does he?
Well, he did last season. Like or a faux. I don't fucking know. Faux hawk, whatever. But anyway, I mean, so we can bow tie the goaltending situation on that. Oh my God, I'm so fed up with the goaltending here. Like Woll injured, Samsonov can't make a save. Jones like adequate, but maybe Hutch, maybe Murray. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Wouldn't count against the cap if he was healthy in the playoffs. Like I'm stretching it here for sure.
Yeah, you're really dreaming if you think Matt Murray's ever gonna play for this team.
You don't think there's been at least one conversation behind closed doors between Shanny and Tree Living thinking, well,
I mean, after watching the Samsonov,
we got a guy.
Maybe after watching Samsonov, like they've turned into what you're doing right now. Like 2 months ago, you would have been like, no fucking way. But after watching Samsonov play, you're like, well, maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
All
anyway,
right.
Let's get off the goalies. Let's go.
All right.
That's what she said. Let's go somewhere else.
Anything else on Keefe or no? You're just kind of leave it what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, again, every time they lose, it's trending on Twitter. Fire Keefe. I don't know if you can really blame Keefe for the poor play, the poor defensive play. The power play is not great. The penalty kill is not great. I don't know if you can blame Keefe. So we'll wait. We'll wait and see what happens with Keefe.
I don't think he's fully like. I wouldn't like place everything on him, but I wouldn't say for sure that he's like not a part of it, because it's just
a part of it.
Like it is the same. It is repetitive. It's the same stuff. But where do you want to start? Just from the top down there? And I don't mean like let's get into it now. But I'm saying like if you want to start somewhere, it's Shanny, Keefe. Like there's a lot of like
there's a lot of things that have been in place a long time
that aren't working.
And it's like you're not having a great
but they're just hoping and waiting that one day
it's gonna all click. And you're not having like an amazing season this year. No. You're in the mix. You're probably gonna make the playoffs.
I kind of just
amazing.
Just to like piggyback off of that for a second. I kind of like that actually. Like here we are now in the new year, and we don't know who they're going to play in the first round for the
they might have to fight to get in.
For the last how many years it was like a lock Tampa, a lock whatever. Like we knew it was going to whatever. Like they could realistically anywhere from win the East to a wild card to miss. And it's exciting. I don't think they will miss. I think they're a good enough
since Joseph Wall has gotten hurt, they went from a 96% chance of making the playoffs down to an 82% chance of making the playoffs.
Not the best.
So they just keep slipping.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like what? Like their division is actually weaker than I thought it would be. But Tampa Bay's right behind them. And then if Tampa Bay passes them, they're not even in a wild card spot. Like they fall right out of the playoffs,
which is very possible.
Crazy. Yeah, and Tampa Bay's only 2 points behind them.
Oh, dude! And depending on how the goaltending goes from here until Wall comes back, and even when Wall does come back, who's to say that he's going to pick up where he left off? Like it's a lot of question marks.
I know, like
a lot of questions.
If I had to put my money on Samsonov or Vasilevsky, I mean it's a coin toss, but. Probably going to go with Vasilevsky in Tampa. Like, I know Vasilevsky's just come back from injury, but Tampa could get hot here and completely pass the Leafs.
They
don't get things figured out.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. What'd you think about Keefe? I got a couple more things before we go here, Chad. What'd you think about Keefe scratching, healthy scratch for David Kampf for the first time, I believe, since he's been a Leaf?
What
kind of point are you proving there?
That's what I thought. I had mixed feelings about it. I had why Kampf? Like, yeah, he hasn't played great, but a lot of players haven't played great. And are you sending a message to the players, or are you sending a message to the GM who signed him for 4 years at $2.5 million a year? Who are you sending the message to?
I always looked at Kampf as a Keefe guy. Like, do you not?
Yeah, but scratching him doesn't really. Like he's your fourth line center. It doesn't really do much.
No, it doesn't.
Like had he scratched William Nylander or something like that, people would be like, "Whoa!"
If someone healthy, if that was me and the coach had healthy scratched me, but knowing that well, I'm getting back in next game anyway, it doesn't really do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like you think Kamp's sitting in the press box tonight thinking, well, yeah, I got to wear this one because I've been brutal. Well, no, he's thinking he's probably thinking, I don't know.
He might think a little bit okay, I've got to play a little better or whatever.
But he knows he signed a 4-year fucking deal. He knows he's going to play.
Well, that's why a part of me thought he's sending a shot to the general manager. Like the same thing I said about the Samsonov quotes after the game. Like, I don't know if he's slagging Samsonov or if he's saying to Tree Living, do something. And then he benches Kampf, which basically was kind of a bad signing by Tree Living. And to me, it says he's looking up at Tree Living again and being like, do something. It's not working.
Fully. I like Kamp's defensive play. Don't get me wrong. I like him as a penalty killer, all those things. Is he a $2.5 million player? No fucking chance for 4 years. No, not a good contract. I would have walked away from that every day of the week. No question about it. But I still don't dislike Kampf as a player.
No.
I think the contract's too high. I think he is a good penalty killer and what have you. But anyway, whatever. Just he'll be back in when they go.
He'll be back in
he'll be back in next game, 100% guaranteed.
It could be. Do you think? And I know this is just while we're on Keefe right now, but do you think like, have you noticed in the way the Leafs play, in the way they react to Keefe on the bench, because he loses it a lot when they blow leads, like he's blowing gaskets, he's saying things in the media. Do you have any inclination that maybe he's losing the room? Like maybe after 4 or 5 years, however long he's been here, the big boys are just kind of checked out. They're like, it's Keefe's just being Keefe.
Part of me does think that, but yet I still look at the play of like the top guys on the ice and I don't really see it. Like,
I think no matter who the coach is, Austin Matthews is still going to be the best goal scorer in the NHL. Nylander's still got talent. Tavares is still going to work hard. Marner's still going to put up points. I feel like the other side of it.
Ask me a different question about the coach. Like, put it more. Let me fire it back at you. Does this team need a different coach? Follow up. Would they be better with a different coach?
Well, that's kind of the question I'm asking you. Like, if you look at the offensive side of the game, they're all, no matter who the coach is, they're going to put up those points. But the other side of the game, I feel like has fallen off.
There's guys out there, man. There's guys out there.
I feel like they've fallen off. Like when Keefe came in, he turned them into like one of the best defensive teams. Like they were so good at playing defense. And it might be like, you know, with the injuries on the back end and the bad goaltending, it all kind of winds together. And it's not really, it's kind of a bit of everything. But a part of me feels like maybe a different voice in the room can fix that side of the game.
I'm with you. To me, it's still too nonchalant. And I don't like that. You bring in a guy like Berube that just got canned from St. Louis. You bring in a guy like potentially what's the dude that took
look at Tocchet in Vancouver. Tocchet. Like I always thought, did you not always think of Vancouver as kind of like
soft?
It's kind of soft and all offense, and they don't play defense, and they don't want to grind, they don't want to wing. That team is, oh my God, man, night and day this year. They will grind you into the ground. They'll beat you 2-1. They'll beat you 5-4. It doesn't matter.
We had one of those guys in the cock, and it didn't work out. And then they went with more of a player's coach. But maybe now that they're more mature, it might be time to go back to like a Berube type. Who I don't know. I think Berube could probably get. Who do you think could get the most out of these guys? A guy like Berube, or a guy who coaches like that kind of hard in your nose, like face style, or Keefe? That's. It's not easy to answer. Yeah, like, it's debatable.
If Keefe had never coached here, I would probably lean towards Keefe. But because he's been here for however long, like coaches only have their shelf life is only so long. It doesn't go on forever.
No, but Berube is like he will not take shit from. He doesn't care who you fucking are. If you're Matthews or Marner or whoever,
they need like.
And I'm not saying he's the guy. Like there's Claude. What's his name? Claude. Fucking the dude that coached Vegas the first year, and he was just left the Rangers. Claude, what's his name? Gallant?
Yeah.
But that might be the wrong name, but you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's Gallant.
Gallant. Sorry.
But, and it's not Claude either. But anyway,
what is it? What is his name?
They need like John Tortorella in Philadelphia.
Wait, what is his name?
Gerard. But they like John Tortorella in Philadelphia, right? Like John Tortorella has just Claude. John Tortorella has like a 2-3 year lifeline as a coach. Like he comes in, but he
kills it. Look at Philly.
He kills it. They need a guy like Torts to come in and be like, I'm only here 2 years, but we are gonna fucking do this. And they need that. I think they need something like that, and maybe Keefe can get this thing turned around. I think Keefe is a phenomenal coach. I just think maybe he's lost the players.
I don't think Keefe can push the right buttons when they need to be pushed.
I don't think he's allowed to push the right buttons. I think he's told by his bosses, don't push those buttons.
Well, then that's a whole other thing. So then how could you see a guy like Berube or whoever working?
Because they wouldn't come here. Like Keefe came here because Dubas, the whole Dubas thing, brought him here. Berube's not coming here unless he gets to push those buttons. Keefe, when he came here, he was told you can coach here, but you can't push those buttons. So that's what he's doing.
Could you not see a little more symmetry between, like, instead of Tree Living and Keefe, could you not see a little more symmetry, like attitude wise, in the way they want the team to play between like Tree Living and Berube? Like, does that make sense or no? They seem a little more
I don't really know. School. Like I know Tree Living signed Sutter in Calgary, so maybe he does lean that way. But to be perfectly honest,
from
I don't
what-
know. I don't know enough.
I heard that
about
was
tree living.
I heard that was an upper management decision, not
Yeah.
a tree living thing. I
I
think the
don't-
owners wanted that.
I don't really know a whole lot about tree living. Like, he doesn't talk very much. He hasn't done anything other
No,
than
he fucking hasn't.
a few free agent signings. So I don't really know enough about tree living to, like, I knew the second Kyle Dubas became general manager, I knew it was a ticking time bomb before Sheldon Keefe became coach. I have no idea what kind of coach Tree Living would replace him with. And I don't even know if Tree Living makes the call. It's probably Shanny who's making
Well,
the call.
who wanted to give Keefe the extension? Was it Tree or was it Shanny?
That's what I don't know. I don't know who makes the calls. I have no
All
idea.
right. Anyway, we're running along here. I do want to say Austin Matthews, not exactly at 30 goals, but he's got 29 goals.
Ripping it.
Before the calendar year turned to 2024, basically 30 goals. This guy's on pace for fucking 75 goals. Ridiculous. Austin Matthews, man, like last year, a down year where he only buried 40, whatever. And like you could
only.
No, I know, but like
But for
wrist
him,
issues
yeah, for
and
him.
all that shit. Like, man, it's just been very impressive to see this guy back, like popping it in from just,
He would have 30 if it
he's-
didn't tip Nice's skate.
He's scoring from anywhere he shoots. So you know things are going well when it's just going in no matter where you shoot it from.
I
So
know, it's
anyway,
crazy. It's awesome.
big time positive for Matthews and Nylander. I don't think Nylander got a point tonight. Did he, Chad? I don't know if you can bring it up as I'm talking about this, but he had
he did.
I don't think he did either. He had a 13-game point streak going into tonight to follow up on the 17-game point streak to start the season. So he only 3 games this season where Nylander has not registered a point. It would be 4 now. I don't believe he got a point tonight, but
No, he didn't.
No
points and a -1.
A 17-game point streak to start the season. They went to Sweden. They came back from Sweden. He didn't get a point in 3 straight games. And then he went on another 13-game point streak, and that just ended tonight. So again, this guy absolutely fucking tearing it up in a contract year. It should be interesting to see how all that plays out, plus much more. Anything else, Chad, before we wrap this one up?
No, just once again, I want to say thank you to everyone who sent us the messages, and we apologize for the long delay, but you know what? Sometimes life gets in the way of things, but we are back, and we will stay back until the playoffs. Hopefully the Leafs make it. But anything else for you?
Yeah, before you sign off, I would like to say this. The PWHL Toronto team plays their first, that's the Professional Women's Hockey League Toronto team, for anybody who isn't aware of that, plays their first game of the season on New Year's against the PWHL New York team. They haven't given the team's last names as of yet. It's just the names of the city.
They will next year.
I hope so. But anyway, the ladies' Toronto team plays their first game on New Year's Day. I think it's a noon start, or
12 o'clock in Toronto.
I think it's on TSN, or it might be on Sportsnet. Actually, I'm not 100%
It's on
sure.
Sportsnet.
But anyway, blue and white sweaters with a little bit of black on them. I like this baby blue with a little bit of white and a little bit of black. Love the look of the sweaters. And Sarah Nurse, Natalie Spooner, incredible hockey players. Just want to say, go ladies, go. I'll be watching, and now I have another Toronto team to cheer for that might possibly win something in the near future. We'll see how that plays out.
Anyway, for the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, once again, don't forget to follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Tip In Pod on Twitter, and Tip In Podcast on TikTok. And until next time, I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
And We'll be back midweek, guys, probably Thursday night after a couple late game starts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with us through the little bit of a break, but we're back now in full swing, coming at you hard. The January and the rest of the way. Right through the playoffs. 2024, we are going to come all over.
We are going to be coming right directly in your face. We're going to be coming all over you. Just like Chad said, we are going to be coming all over the place. So you guys are not going to want to miss that.
In your ear, on your eyes. Like, you can watch us on YouTube, listen to us everywhere.
100%. Could not have put it better. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Have a safe and happy New Year.
That's right.
We'll see you in the new year. Go Leafs, go. Let's go to California and get some shit cooking out there. Maybe Hutch will be in net. Who knows?
Well, they
Chad?
usually play terrible in California, so I'm not holding my breath. But yes, Happy New Year, everybody.
Dude, they got a back-to-back on Tuesday and Wednesday. So who? It can't be Samsonov. It's got to be Jones and someone else. Could it be Hutch? Leave your comments down below. Let us know who should play net. Like Chad just said, safe and happy New Year's for everybody. Go Leafs, go, and we'll catch you guys later.
Catch you later.